Here's to Sophiasville, where the creation started. David and a mother of 6, and anyone can be a motivator. Teachers, store vendors, the cane man, the farmer, the barber, the police officer. Anyone can instill positive insight into our youth and our community if we just believe in each other. But where it starts in the home. We have to take responsibility as parents. I myself, I'm very overprotective. I'm a strict mother. I'm so strict to this point where I've raised kids that didn't come from my body that is mad with me to this day that I was too strict. And in America, they call it abuse. But in Jamaica, we call it discipline. And I make no excuse discipline my children. I make no excuse to want to know what's going on in their lives. I make no excuse to take them to the doctor. I make no excuse in not letting them do sleepovers. As a parent, it's my right. I have 5 daughters and 1 son. I am their protector. I am their guider. God gave me this job to caretake over these children, and I take my job very seriously. We as adults and as a nation need to take care of our children more. Every child on the street belongs to all of us. Every children out there belongs to all of us. They are all our future. We need to protect them. We need to secure their body. We need to secure their mind. We need to be aware of the type of music we're allowing them to listen, the type of films we're allowing them to see. That's our duty as adults, to protect these young minds and nurture them for the right things. So I don't make an excuse for being a parent and being strict and being territorial with my daughters. No, I don't. And we have this long curriculum in school teaching all these children all these things that when they go out in the real world, what do they do with it? There's no job secure for them. What are they going to do with these degrees? We need to teach them trades. We need to go back to the basics. No one should be allowed to leave the school system without a trade. Trade plus their degree, just in case there's no jobs there, just in case the government didn't put any jobs in place for them. At least they could work with their brain, their hands, their mind, and do something and be entrepreneurs. We need to teach our children more entrepreneurship, more home ownership, more independent thinking, more independent work, instead of teaching them, go to school, get a high school diploma, get a degree, go to university, and then come out, then what? No jobs. Then they have to migrate, and all our educated people are gone. We have to change some systems so we can have our educated people stay in our country, pay them what they're worth, give them good incentives, good housing, good benefits for our police officers, for our teachers, for our firefighters, for our farmers. We need to reinvest all our money here in our future. We need to make better preparation for our kids. I want to see more schools put in place for young people that have made errors in their life. It shouldn't be a case where you get pregnant in school and your life has stopped. We want continuation. Teenagers are going to make mistakes. Teenagers are going to have sex. Teenagers are going to use bad judgment. And we're going to do things that, you know what, may not be in accordance to where our future and the plans that our parents have for us. But we as educators and elders and teachers and politicians and the government, we need to have a plan in case our teenagers have gotten pregnant where they can continue their education. I got pregnant at 16 years old, 16. Of a high school sweetheart. I was very disappointed in myself. I had big plans. But at that time when I got pregnant, I wanted to further my education. I wanted to stay in school, and I was told that it was not possible. And at that point I said to myself, this shouldn't be. We need to have a system in place for teenagers. They're going to have sex. The system that we need to have in place, we need to have prevention and education, where we educate these teenagers. I couldn't have made it this far. I couldn't have bounced back if I did not have the support of my parents and of my child father at the time, which was just as young as me, only 1 year older than me, was there with me all through the pregnancy and took up his responsibility and made sure I had all the medical needs and the necessary things that I needed to get through this valley moment of my life. It's important that parents and mothers, whenever their children or their child has gotten pregnant as a teenager, that they keep that support system going. It's important to be there. You may not support the pregnancy, you may not be happy about it, but if it already happened and you've made the decision that that child is going to carry that baby, you need to support that young lady, you need to support that young man, you need to educate them, you need to be there that when that child is born, they can go on with their life, they can bounce back, they can go back to school, they can follow their dreams. That was very important for me, and because of my mother being there, I was able to go back to school 3 months after I had my child, further my education, pursue my dreams while my mother helped me. Not took my child, even though she did. 90%, she was there for 90%, but I'm not telling mothers to take over their children's responsibility. I'm saying assist your son and your daughter, because it's important to assist the young men also. Assist them with the child, give them that support, and allow them to go back to school to further their education, whether they want to get a degree, whether they want to learn a trade, whatever it is, they need us to help them through. So that's very important for pregnant teenagers to have a support system. I would say to all young teenage mothers that it's a derailment of your vision. It's an obstacle. It's not the end, but it's a derailment. I can't emphasize when I say that. Usually the young men go on. Usually you don't end up with those young men being your husband. You're stuck with a child. You're stuck with children. I would say wait. Wait until you further your education, you're mature enough, you're financially secure enough, and you're sure at least 50%, because you can never be sure of a man or a relationship, but at least when you have a foundation and you and this young man can sit down and say, okay, we have our education in place, we have our finances in place, you know, let's plan a family. You know, most pastors and most spiritual people will say, you know, get married first. You know what, that decision is yours, because marriage does not secure anything. You understand? So I'm not going to throw out get married. It would be the right thing to do, but if it's your choice. It's very challenging as a young lady to have a child and to go back into the workforce and the school force. It makes it much harder. So I would say to young people, sex is a beautiful thing between two people that love each other and want to be together and share that spiritual contact. It's a beautiful thing. But it's even more beautiful if you wait. Make sure that's the right person. Make sure that both of you are mature and financially stable enough to handle this responsibility. But you know what? It's just that simple. It's best to wait. So all I can say to you young girls, as beautiful and sexy as you are and sexual as you feel and your hormones are all over the place, just wait. Just pause a little and slow down and leave the baby for later on. Trust me, you'll thank me.